we might get a surprise on the way home.
So I might get a surprise on the way home, and I was just in full production of
Full production mode.
Full production mode.
It's opening night.
Am I living?
Oh, what a funny thing to say.
As your mama always said, look up into the sky, find the sun on a cloudy day, on a cloudy day. Your mama always said, look up into the sky, find the sun on a cloudy day, on a cloudy day. Your mama always said, look up into the sky.
Buongiorno.
Oh, hell, look out.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Wow, I didn't expect that.
Buongiorno.
I'm trying to think of other ways, other languages to say buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Yasu.
Yasul.
Yasu.
Willkommen.
Kakusi.
Kakusi, what's that?
Croatian.
Ah, didn't know
Kakusi.
that. Kakusi or akusi?
No, akusi. No, that's
Sound like my nonna.
kakusi.
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 Wow, what a multicultural way to start the day.
I don't know.
No, I love it. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Buongiorno tutti. Buongiorno.
Hola.
Hola. Oh, Nance. You're killing me because you catch me off guard with that. I love it. Guys, Monday morning's here already. Welcome to
know.
another brand new episode of Livin Podcasts.
Yes, with Nancy Timpano.
Oh, yes. And Vince Fusco. Hi, we're here again.
Hi,
and we live for this.
We do.
I live for Monday morning.
Yep, we absolutely love it. There's always so much to talk about. And those 7 days in between our episodes, so many things happen. And then that triggers another episode topic.
Yeah, but it's
As
because
simple as that.
it's because we have conversations all week with people that engage with us on our socials. And if you haven't already done that, you should definitely do it. Instagram at livin_podcast. Make sure you go and follow us. Get onto your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
YouTube, iHeartRadio apps. Search for us and subscribe and follow as well.
That's
Because we want you to be part. We don't want you to miss out on all this good stuff over here.
That's right. And we are up for Listener's Choice Award in the Australian
There's
Podcast
only
Awards.
a couple weeks left to vote. It's
once-
literally a week to go, I reckon.
Yeah, you follow us on the Instagram account. You can hit that link in the bio
Click.
and chuck us a vote.
Yes, love that. Thanks, guys.
you.
Thanks in advance.
Thank
love
you.
that. Hey,
Yes.
speaking of chucking a few things,
Yeah.
chucking a real little hissy fit this week.
Ooh, hit
Not
me.
me. No, not me. Hit me.
Hit me.
No, not me. Young people. And I'm going to say young, and this is going to, people are going to be like, Vince, you're only 36 years old. You're not much better, and you're not far off of those millennials either. No, I understand that.
It's the mentality.
And you're going to say...
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Not just the mentality, but the actual hissy fits
Yeah.
that these young people, and I'm going to say young between the age of, let's say, 18 to 25. Okay?
I want to say Gen Y. I actually want to say it. Is that bad?
No, it's not bad, but
It's just been a little common denominator.
That's fair.
There you
That's
go.
totally
there
fair.
You go.
But you
so
know what
I
it
can't
is?
say all of you.
and I think the
Most.
topic that the topic is today, it's entitlement. Entitlement of this younger. And I feel like a dick because people are going to be like, come on, boomer, like to me. And I know that I sound old-fashioned, and I know that I sound like I'm having a whinge about young people. Back in my day,
Yeah.
we had respect. And this has only come about because my dear sister,
Yeah.
my sister, so she's 50, okay? One of my sisters.
Mm.
50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Worked in this place for 6 years.
Yeah.
12 months ago, a 22-year-old started
Yes.
under her on
Yep.
the team.
Yep.
Across that year,
Yep.
the 22-year-old has been entitled, makes comments, do what they want.
Yep.
She's been pulled up on it.
Yep.
Care factor 0.
Mm.
Had a conversation about it.
Care factor
Care
zero.
factor 0. But then what happens, and I will talk to my own experience on this as well, because I think that's important, because I've been on this as well, where I've had conflicts with staff,
Yep.
both in my previous roles and my clients. And it's not them, the client, the business, it's the individuals,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Where they have had, and I'll go back to my sisters quickly, because what happened was literally it's come to the point where when the young one's been pulled up, they turn around and go, well, okay, and what do you do? To their bosses, to their superiors. And I'm sorry, what is it that you do all day to fill your time?
Oh my goodness.
How would you, as a manager, right?
Ooh.
Not only that, but then the disregard. So if you start work at 8:30, you
Yeah.
start at 8:30.
Yeah.
Nance, what time would you get
Oh
to work?
my gosh.
What time would you arrive if you started at 8:30?
Look, I'm extreme, but minimum,
You're like me, yeah.
minimum 8:20, if
Minimum.
minimum.
Because you want to be ready to start at 8:30, right?
Correct.
Okay. So if you start at 8:30,
Yes.
but you arrive at 8:40,
Yeah.
you're already 10 minutes late.
Yeah,
And then
and they're fine with it.
they walk in,
Yeah.
turn the computer on,
I'm just going to go get a coffee.
go make a coffee,
Oh,
go to the cabinet,
yeah. Toilet.
toilet. Back at the desk,
Mm.
about 5 to 9,
Yeah.
ready to start the day.
Yeah. Yep.
9:30,
Mm.
smoke break.
Yeah.
Smoke break?
Yeah.
But you've been here for 35 minutes
Yeah.
at your desk. No, I have worked here for an hour.
Yeah, I know. Look,
Does that do your head in? It does my head in.
It absolutely does my head in. And yes, it does sound like we're being like,
Oh, back in my day.
but it's true.
It is true because I'm trying to figure out where,
Mm.
and is it just because of the access of information? Is it because we've gone so far woke, so far politically correct, and everybody, no, it's not everybody, today's society, everybody gets offended at everything. Everything is a
Yes.
personal attack.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to take constructive criticism.
Yep.
Nobody knows how to take feedback. I'm going to talk about my experience.
Yep.
So I ran an organisation for a long time, a few years, right? And one day I just noticed a bit of tension coming from one of the younger team members who had worked with me for years, but just a bit of tension one day. And then I noticed they started talking to other team members. And this is where you start seeing factions and cracks. And look, as a business owner myself, as a manager, as a CEO, as a producer, a director, a coach, and we talked about it a little bit last week, where I said with friendships, for example, as soon as there's a hint of jealousy,
Yeah.
it poisons the well. The
Correct.
same thing goes in a professional setting. Once you've got one crack that starts then
Yep.
having issues,
Yep.
it can infiltrate very quickly,
Yep.
right? So what happens is you start noticing people in your workplace having little chats, little factions. And then when you question, hey, what's going on? Well, nothing. So
Yeah.
you go, okay, well, is it about me?
Yeah.
Over time, that built up. And then
Yeah.
one day I said, sorry, I'm just getting the vibe.
Mm.
What's happening here? No, I don't think it's appropriate that we talk about it right now in front of everyone. I said, well, you're happy to make
Yeah.
the comment. You're happy to produce and promote that energy publicly, but you're not happy to have the conversation publicly.
No one's happy to have a conversation anymore with.
And that's the other thing. They also don't want to address it.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
happy to ignore it and expect that we can just move forward. But it
Yeah.
doesn't work that way.
No.
So I called it out. And then they went, okay, well, let me just tell you, I don't necessarily like the way that you come in here every day, like you know everything that is going on about every part of every project and every business, and then you talk to us and tell us what we need to do and make sure that we're all on our jobs. That is exactly my job
Yeah,
description.
I was just going to say, I'm like, hang on, what's the
You
problem?
have actually just given me my thank you.
Thank you for reading
So
out
hang
my
on,
job
so-
description.
That's my job.
Yeah.
So what is the issue? I don't like the way that you know everything and it feels like you're micromanaging us. But I'm not micromanaging. I'm checking in and asking you the questions that you're not asking.
Yeah.
Is that done? Is that being followed up? Is somebody looking into that?
Because you're having someone come to you and say, have you done that? So you need to
Hello.
go down the line and make sure.
But it's this entitlement of like, I don't need to do that or I can
Yeah.
do that. Lunchtime comes. 30 minutes.
Yeah. Not 35, not 36, not 37.
48. Come back in 48 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
5 o'clock comes. Out the door.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm also someone who has had to put boundaries in myself where I have had to be like, 4 o'clock comes, I'm out the door.
Yep.
But I've also been here for 12 hours, or
There's nothing
10
wrong with that.
hours.
That's
No, I
right.
understand, but I've done everything and more that needed to get done. Nothing
Correct.
is behind, nothing, and then you get these young ones who they go, oh, I had to be working last night till 10 p.m. You should have seen me. Or I came in till 5 o'clock on the afternoon on a Saturday to finish off what I did because I'm just so busy. But if you were
No.
doing your job correctly and efficiently
Yes.
in the time allocated,
Correct.
you wouldn't have to do that. I'd be working all those extra hours like a hero and not getting paid for it.
Mm.
Sorry.
Work smart, not hard.
Come
Silly
on, man.
buggers. I've been in the position many times that I've actually had my upline, my reporting line, they're younger than me.
Yeah, and that's
I've got
fine.
no issues
That's
with
totally
that.
fine. Same.
But what I do find hilarious, and we have spoken about this before, a lot of people have this comfortability with me, which
Yeah.
sometimes gives me the absolute shits.
Yeah.
Because hang on a minute, I'm 10 years older than you and I have absolute respect for you in your role.
Yep.
But you can question me, which is fine. You can question me in what I'm doing because I'll have an answer for you, no
100%.
problem. But you're not questioning these younger ones
Yeah.
because you're scared of the backlash you're going to get from them.
Yes. Yes.
But you're comfortable. And I'm just get to the point. It's like,
I like that though.
hang
Like, to
on
be
a
honest,
minute.
I think it's actually good to have that level of comfort, because I think if they can address that, your up line
Yeah.
to you, it's good. I agree that it
I have
shows
no
weakness.
issues,
It
but
shows
then-
weakness, so that they're scared of the backlash.
100%.
Because again, they take everything.
They're righteous. They are
They're so righteous. You
So
can't say that.
righteous.
You can't ask me that.
No.
Oh, everything is just like
Yep.
me.
Yep.
My niece, who's 19,
Yep.
had a job recently, and she was in a position of authority, where she basically got to be like, well, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen today.
Yep.
But she really loved that power. So she
Yeah.
gets drunk on power. And one day she was telling me about it, and I said, well, it sounds like you're actually being a bit rude. And she went, no, I've got a license to be a bitch, basically. And I said, well, the fact that you say that
Yeah.
tells me that you're thriving in that. You're celebrating the fact that you can be a bitch.
You're looking
And
for an
you're be-
opportunity.
You're looking for the opportunity to be rude to
Yeah.
customers, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, she makes it through the probation period. One thing leads to another. She doesn't continue in this workplace. She's devastated. I said, hey, there's a bit of a lesson here.
Yeah.
Sorry. And so it was funny because my sister came past on the weekend, and she was telling us about the whippersnapper at work who's giving her grief, and how it's actually making, like, now her and another girl, she goes, I'm the senior, I'm the manager, but it makes me feel yuck
Yeah.
that, like, I go in there and these two girls treat me like this. It's very high school.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel sick. It makes me feel
Yeah.
sick. Like, I just don't like her.
Yeah.
And then, like, the managers go, don't worry about it. It's like talking to your daughter.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, but I can smack my daughter.
Yeah.
I can slap my daughter and say, don't talk to me
Well,
like
you
that.
can't, but.
Or, well, no, it's legals. No, but you can say to your kid, hey, that's not how we behave.
Yeah.
So as we're having this conversation in
mm.
front of my niece, it was a beautiful moment, actually. My sister's telling us, and how she talks to me, this young girl, and my niece is going, ugh, this drives me crazy, how she's talking already, like, irritating. And I said, okay, stop. I said, let's think back to your outlook as well, and how sometimes you talk, or how you did talk in that workplace.
Yeah.
And think about how annoying you must have been to all of those people.
Yep.
And how you must be annoying to us some days. Not us, your family, but like to those who are a little bit older. I'm only 16, 17 years older than her. But it's like there's a big gap.
Yeah.
There's a big gap of, I think,
Yes.
expectation, the way society has moved, and the way we communicate has shifted. But I said to her, just take a look at yourself as well and think, because it's not just your behavior at work.
Yeah.
It's actually everything else around that. How do you treat everyone in the workplace? How do you behave to the postman? It's, for performers,
Yeah.
I used to say it to all of my students, your performance on stage is important. You know what's more important? Your performance off stage. How do you show up?
I
Do
say
you
that.
say hello to the receptionist when you walk in?
Yeah.
Do you treat cleaners the same as you treat the king?
100%.
Because the person who sweeps the floors and the person who runs the building, they're the same.
I
They're
say
the
it
same
all
type
the
of person.
time. I say talent will only get you so far,
100%.
and being a diva will get you nowhere.
I've had amazing people
Yeah.
interview for workplaces that I've run.
Yep.
I've had amazing performers
Yep.
audition for productions I've been putting on. And I have said, and I've not let them in because they've been the most talented,
Yeah.
but their actual personality
Attitude.
and their attitude stank. And
it's
I would
gonna-
rather not have you there because, like I said, one little crack.
Oh, absolutely. It spoils
Upsets
the apple cart. Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Hey, there you
absolutely
go.
does. When you were talking before, it took me back, and it always takes me back to I had a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work experience for like an 8-year period where it was so beautiful. And I think it was purely because the fact that, this organisation opened in Adelaide and I was the manager from day one.
Yeah.
So everyone coming in, we learnt the Nancy way from day one, and there was no, comparison. There was no questions, no this, no that. And I remember working. I was working at Adidas at Harbour Town, and I was managing that very, very big store. And I remember I'd get there at the crack of dawn. I'd actually start work at 7 o'clock. Me and the stock guy would start at 7. And anyway, I'd do rosters and whatever, and by about 8:30 before the team rock up, I'd start vacuuming.
Yeah.
And the team would rock up and they'd be like, Nance, I'll do that. And I'll be like, why? Why? You don't have to do that just because I'm the manager. I can't vacuum.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's all right, you can, if there's tomorrow, tonight, whatever, you can do it. But no, I'll do it now, no problem.
Yeah.
And there was like a respect back then that it just isn't. And I also remember that we were comfortable with each other, but we also respected each other. And I remember one particular day, a staff member, gorgeous, love him to bits, call him my son. But anyway, he spoke out a line to me, and we'd all been very, very comfortable to him. And I just went, whoa, okay. I love that we can all have fun here, but there is a line, and I'm sorry, you've just crossed it.
Got to call it.
I called it, and because he did have that respect for me, he realised, and he was so disappointed.
Yeah.
So
beats himself up more than you will ever do.
Disappointed, but I had to call it.
You have to.
I was like, no, if I let this go, this is just going to go.
Hey, it's an avalanche after that. That's what happens.
Absolutely.
It's the 1%ers that add up over time.
Yeah.
And that's probably, something that we've learned many times, where that comfortability again comes in.
Yeah.
And you just sort of, look, maybe they didn't mean that. Maybe that was just a slip of the tongue. But you've got to call it out, don't you?
Got to call it. But yeah, there is a real righteousness about it. And I also find, you know how you've got to be like, politically correct and this and that and be careful what you say and how you say it and this, that, the other. That's fine if that's the way of the world. But I feel like we have to be like that, dot the I's and cross the T's with the younger ones. But then they are okay with throwing comments at the older ones around them, and they don't think twice about it.
100%.
I think that's so wrong and so disrespectful.
I just don't understand how it's happened. And I said before, is it because of access of information? Is it because we've just gotten to this place as a society where you can just say anything?
Yeah.
And you, as much as you can say anything, you can't say anything. Like you said, because we have to be so politically correct and whatever. And I get that. And I think there's definitely progression that has been made.
Yeah.
But fuck me, there's regression that's been made.
Yeah.
Because it's gone too far the other way.
Yeah.
And I just can't understand it. I'm really trying. And so even like with my kids, I feel like we're doing a very good job of like, they don't have screens. They don't have screen time. They watch television, don't get me wrong, the TV kids, but no more, way less than what we did.
Yeah.
But even then, like the way they communicate to each other, the way they talk to us and the other grown-ups.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to treat all grown-ups with respect and give every grown-up a hug and a kiss. And it's not that kind of parenting, but it's the way in which you communicate respectfully and listen and read the room. And you don't make comments to older people about your, like, I don't know, like I say to them, these are not the men that I'm raising.
Yeah.
When they speak like that, I say, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not going to have that in the house.
Yeah.
That the way you're talking to your brother is unacceptable. The way you're talking to your mum or me is unacceptable. That doesn't sound, let's try it this way.
Yeah.
And this is why, because what you've said could be hurtful, or maybe he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not raising those type of men in this house. Gosh, I sound like my mum.
No, but it's true. It's true. And I do that. I do the same with Jaden all the time. All the time, because, they're going to follow your lead.
100%. And that's exactly right. The way I show up in the world. And look, I know I'm not a saint.
Yeah.
I am not a saint. I curse like a sailor.
Yeah.
As a lot of you have pointed out. Thank you. I haven't put enough explicits on some of these episodes, I think. No, I'm very good with that, but I know there's one or two that slip through the crack.
Oops.
But I curse. I do say off the cuff politically incorrect things.
Yeah.
And that is also something that I am learning. I think a lot of our age and above are learning.
Yeah.
Because there are also things I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's up to me. That's where I take ownership and responsibility and go, okay, I need to learn more about that and how I can be proactive to be sensitive to others' outlooks or political views or identities, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I agree with that. We should be sensitive to others, but I think being sensitive to others also then means surrendering your own sense of entitlement and actually connecting with another person and going, okay, I get it. I empathize.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
No, that's right.
That's one of my examples from my sister was like the smoke at 9:30 that this girl's like, I'm going to have a smoke at 9:30. And so my sister made the comment, goes, well, hang on, actually, do you mind if I just make a coffee first? Because I've been at the desk since 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I've just been waiting for you to arrive. But do you mind if I quickly make a coffee and then you can go for a smoke? And she was like, well, I find it strange that you would make a coffee now at 9:30 when you know that I'm going to go have a smoke at 9:30 because I do it every day. So I think you need to make your coffee between 8 and 9.
Yeah.
She was like, well, no, I'm not going to have my coffee dictated by your smoke break, but you've also not been at your desk for all of that time. So what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? Like, And then she got up and went and had a smoke. And so she was like, okay, well, I guess that's the thing. So when she came back as the manager, she said, hey, I'd like to just have a quick chat about what we just talked about and what just happened. Because what you've done is you've completely ignored my request, which I thought was a very reasonable request. Hey, do you mind if I make that first? Then you can go. And then, oh, well, what's the issue with that?
Yeah.
The issue is I've been here since 7 a.m.
Yeah.
waiting for you. You were late. You haven't been at your desk. Your smoke is... and even then, the seniors again have said you have to be at your desk for a minimum of an hour before you go have a smoke. Like, it's those little things.
I know.
And then, well, no, you're attacking me now.
Oh
I'm not,
my
you know what I mean?
gosh.
Now you're attacking me.
Yeah, no.
It's bananas.
And back in the day, it probably isn't allowed anymore. But, this, when I was working in a particular place, in everyone's contracts when they came on board, in their contract, it said you must be at your shift 10 minutes.
Yes.
No, actually, I lie. 7 minutes prior.
7.
They had to be at the shift because then they're going to rock up because they're there 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So if they weren't there 6 minutes before the shift, I'd be on the phone. It's in your contract. So we became very accustomed, but then they would be paid if the store closed at 5:30. They would be paid to 5:40 to make up for
of
it.
Course.
And then I love when they talk about performance-based rostering because if you put in
you get more.
5:30 on the dot, I would make sure we are out of that store and you're still getting paid to 5:40. Because you're making up for those 7 minutes. But if you're going to rock up late, not let me know, blah, blah, blah.
Take 5 smoke breaks across the day at 15 minutes each.
Tell you, I will find a job that takes us to 5:41 even.
100%.
Because, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And I'm a big believer
100%.
in that. But now we're just not allowed to scratch. Don't touch. Safe hands.
30 centimetre rule.
Yeah.
No.
But, it's a different rules. I just wish sometimes, how in schools you go around and you talk about different things with students.
Yeah.
I think they all need a bit of a reminder of maybe how good they've got it nowadays.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Like sometimes when I still go to work 2 days a week and it does my head in where I say like, back in the day, old school, if I'm doing 5 hours, you've got to have a 10-minute break.
Have to.
You've got to. And
if you're doing 6 hours, then you get your 30 minutes.
And a 10. 30 and a 10.
Oh, do you get a tenner as well?
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on more breaks than I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I've had my 10 and then we do the rotation and now you're on a 30 and it's like, oh my gosh, can I actually get something done here? Because I'm too busy having
breaks. Is there a
breaks.
consideration for smokers? And look, it's funny because you don't see a lot of smokers these days, but they're still there. I was one of them once upon a time, right? And what I would have to do is I would calculate in my day, if I had an hour lunch break, which I did, and if I had 2 smoke breaks that took me, if I wanted to have a 15-minute smoke at 11 and one at 3 o'clock,
then you take 30 minutes instead.
I'm taking a 30-minute lunch break.
Correct.
But the people that are like
they have it all.
They take 3 or 4 smoke breaks with their friend at work.
Yeah.
So they're also out there having a chat, having a gaff.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes. That's 45 minutes. Then their lunch break comes. They take the mickey.
Their full.
But you're actually taking the piss, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're actually taking the piss.
But see, this is how you and I think. I reckon if we were in a room of, younger people, they'd be like, what's wrong with that? Isn't that crazy?
Okay, and look, I will say this because I believe in this approach. If you're doing that and your work is all done,
yes,
go for it.
Yeah.
And I used to say that as a manager. I used to say all the time, if you've done everything and it's 5 to 4 or 4, if it's 3:40 and you've done everything that needs to happen for you today and you're ready for tomorrow, and if that 20 minutes at the end of the day is going to help you pick up the kids or get some groceries, I don't know what it's going to do. But I know you're going to put it back. You're going to put it back into the business.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to hold you to the wire to say at 4 o'clock you need to be here.
Absolutely.
And I'm not expecting more, which some managers do. They go, well, your hours are 9 to 5, but I expect you to be here 8 to 6 because everybody needs to go a little bit above and beyond. I think that there is a limit to that.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it comes back to if you've done what needs to be done. But if you're taking the mickey and you're not getting your work done and then you're complaining about it, going, I'm doing all this extra overtime, it's like, well, you're just fucking inefficient.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
It's true. I think we all need to pull up our socks.
I'm
Pull
wearing,
your socks up.
I'm
I
wearing
know,
my
mine
anklets
are,
today.
mine are invisible, so
Yeah,
they're
mine
very
too.
hard to pull up. But pull up your socks and
pull up
take
your
a
socks.
take a look at yourselves. And are you putting in 100%?
I'll tell you
Because
what, Nance,
100% is minimum.
back in my day.
Back in
I'll tell
my
you
day.
what.
I'll tell you what, this is Livin. We'll see you next week.
All right. It's a lovely day. We should go play bingo today.
Because we because we've lived. That's why we're living. Because we've
love it.
we've lived. Yep.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Don't be entitled.
Yeah.
Just be great at what you do. Be excellent. Have a great day.
Why be good when you can be great?
Why be great when you could be excellent?
Amazing. Yeah.